I'm Kelsey Pribilski, a barbecue enthusiast and native Texan. I'm crisscrossing the state in search of local flavors and secret menu items. With the help of some renowned chefs and prominent pitmasters, there's no telling what we might find. I'm in San Antonio, just a few hours from Mexico. This city's mission-style architecture pays homage to its Latin American roots. From fiestas to food, San Antonio has a distinct local flavor. I'm here with Johnny Hernandez, accomplished chef and restaurateur.
Kelsey, welcome to San Antonio and to our beautiful Riverwalk.
Thank you.
I grew up on the west side of San Antonio, and San Antonio, very much like the neighborhood I grew up in, is rooted in Mexican tradition and Mexican heritage. I think you're gonna see that, you're gonna taste that, and that's what makes us San Antonio, and that's what I'm happy to share with you.
Cool, I'm so excited. I love it. You're kind of like a local celebrity here in San Antonio, so I'm really looking forward for you to show me around.
We have some of the best pit masters in the country, and I'm excited to show you that.
Woo, I'm so excited to try some barbecue. But what I'm really looking for are some secret menu items. You think you can help me with that?
You know, I'll make a few calls. I can set that up for us.
Awesome, cool.
For sure.
Well, you ready?
Let's do it.
Let's go. For our first stop, Johnny took me to M Smokehouse. This relatively new spot was started by two longtime friends with the dream of opening a brick-and-mortar restaurant. Everything from the tables to the smokehouse itself, they built by hand and finished in late 2016.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you doing?
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I want to introduce you to Kelsey.
How you doing, Kelsey? Joe Melody.
Nice to meet you.
So Joe's the co-owner here at 2M.
Cool.
What can we do
So
for you?
let's do brisket. We got to try that beef chorizo.
Absolutely.
Let's do one of those beautiful beef ribs.
Dino rib? Absolutely. We'll get you taken care of.
Question, do you have anything special or off menu that you could give to
Yeah,
us?
specialty item?
Yeah.
Yeah, we sure do. We'll take care of y'all.
Cool, all right.
All right, y'all have a seat. We'll take it to you. Thanks,
Cool.
John.
Joe, thank you. This is where it gets exciting.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about 2M, what you know about them.
2M is really carving a name for themselves, you know, not only in San Antonio, but across the country. You know, Saul, the pitmaster, you know, growing up in San Antonio feeds, I think, his creativity and his passion for what he does. It shows up in a bold way.
What do you think the secret menu item's gonna be?
Well, today's a special day.
Oh yeah?
We're gonna have barbacoa today. It is a dish that is iconic to San Antonio, to the Hispanic heritage. But Saul here at 2M does it in his own unique way. And I mean, what's special about it is you can only get it once a month, the first Sunday of every month here at 2M.
So we just happen to be here on the one day that he's preparing it. For the
We
month.
timed it perfectly.
That's awesome!
Hey, how's it going?
Oh man, look at this.
Whoa!
Little spread there, some beef. So right here we have a beef rib, a couple slices of some fatty brisket, and then right here some house-made beef sausage.
See, look at that gorgeous brisket. Look at the bark on that, the color. You know, there's a lot of love that went into
Absolutely.
this. And I know
Yes, there
the
is.
ribs are one of their signatures. I mean, these are just unbelievably gorgeous.
I really like the
Beautiful.
seasoning on these a lot.
You can see a little bit of that
of
Mexican
that Mexican,
chorizo, the flavor, the spices kind of come through that.
Hey guys,
There it is.
we got some barbacoa
Oh
here
my
for you.
gosh! Hi, I'm Kelsey.
It's Raul Ramos.
So nice
Hey
to
chef,
meet
how you
you.
doing?
Oh, good to see you, man. It looks gorgeous. Beautiful.
Please tell me about this dish.
Yeah, so these are this is barbacoa. This is beef cheeks.
Okay.
It's normally cooked in the ground. We can't do that here, so I just try to recreate it as best as possible inside of the smoker. So I'll go ahead and wrap it up in banana leaves, and it gets kind of just cooked in its own juices.
This is an iconic dish of San Antonio. It's been the food that our people eat. You know, I don't think there is a Hispanic kid in the city of San Antonio that has not woken up to Saturday morning barbacoa. Okay,
Yeah. Oh, I
love it.
and this is how we eat it in a
Okay,
taco. So
okay.
that's for you. Look at that.
How did you guys meet?
Met in high school, actually.
We just became buddies, and then we just never stopped being buddies. So then it just went from there.
Who came up with the idea to start a restaurant?
It was kind of both of us. Like growing up as a Texan, where you barbecue a lot, and then also growing up as a Mexican, we always have parties every weekend. So you just put those two together, and it was always really nice.
It's a barbecue party all the time.
Exactly. And then I don't know, just kind of one day we were just like, hey, it'd be nice to own a restaurant. We should open up a barbecue joint.
So I know that opening up a restaurant is incredibly difficult. What was the process like for you guys? How did you get started?
Well, Yuswell and I would just put our pennies together with what we had. We didn't come from deep pockets.
If you're willing to put in the elbow grease yourself, you can definitely stretch it.
That time equity is big.
Yeah.
Time
That's
equity.
true.
It's
Speaking
huge.
of time equity, I've heard a rumor. Do you guys sleep here to tend to the brisket?
For the first year, we would get here on Wednesday morning at like 4 in the morning, and we wouldn't see our wives till Sunday, 7 o'clock at night.
That is a commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, you can taste it, you can see it.
How do you think the menu kind of reflects the traditions and your personality and your upbringing?
So it's like, instead of doing pickled red onions, we do pickled bell peppers. It brings back those days where we make fajitas and stuff. It's those little things that we kind of just bring whatever it is that we grew up with, we try to put them on our menu.
Well, thanks for talking to us. And this is delicious and very different from anything else I've tasted so far. So, yeah.
Yes, and chefs and Joe, just for your success, congratulations. But thank you for staying in San Antonio.
We're happy to be here.
But also just putting that unique San Antonio, in what you do and you love every day, and it shows in the food.
Thank you very much. Well, we got to get back to
Yeah, we will continue.
Thank you for coming by. I appreciate
Nice
you.
meeting you.
Thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
Yes, sir. Gracias.
All right. Because that's my favorite part.
Johnny and I headed just out of town to check out Natural Bridge Caverns, one of the largest cave systems in Texas. This awe-inspiring natural wonder is equally stunning as it is mysterious. Explorations are still ongoing as new passageways are actually being discovered each year. Plus, there's tons more to do here outside of exploring the caves.
She's so pretty.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Hi, my name is Matt. I'll be your
Kelsey.
tour guide. Yeah, nice to meet you, Kelsey. Johnny, nice to meet you too. So I guess you figured out why we're called Natural Bridge Caverns.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. You guys ready to see it?
So ready, let's go.
All right, let's get down there. Let me tell you a couple of things about how the cave was discovered. Natural Bridge Caverns up until 1960 was a ranch. Some cave explorers got permission from the landowners to look around, and this is what they found.
Oh my God.
So this room is called the Hall of the Mountain King, and it's the largest room in Natural Bridge Caverns. It's really big. It's about roughly the size of a football field.
What?
Yeah, you guys can imagine, in 1960, they didn't have really bright lights like we do today. They couldn't even see the walls and ceiling of it. They just were in this giant black space. It's only later on, that they realized how big the room was that they had discovered.
This has been so cool.
I know. I love that you could just escape and experience something so unique as the caves.
Definitely. All right,
So-
let's get back to the city.
Let's do it.
Next, we headed into Southtown to check out local institution B&D Ice House. Once used as an actual ice house, this building was converted into a bar in the early 60s, but since closed. In 2014, they reopened and began selling barbecue.
Cool. Johnny.
Hey, Laura.
Hey.
Thank you for meeting us.
No problem.
Thank you. Hey, and I want to introduce you to Kelsey.
Hi, Kelsey.
I'm Laura.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So Laura is the pitmaster, and she has been an integral part of the opening of this. She's a woman in a really male-dominated industry. It's not only restaurants, but just think about it, pitmasters. How many women pitmasters do you know?
You're the first
Man.
one. Should we take a seat?
Yes. Ice houses have been a part of Texas culture, and there are just a handful of them just left in San Antonio. This happens to be one that's just closest to downtown in King William, and now it has some great barbecue.
Well, do y'all want a cold beer?
Yes.
All right.
get a
Hey,
beer.
Vinny, can we grab some beers?
Sure.
This is
Vinny,
Vinny.
nice to meet you.
Kelsey.
Vinny, nice to meet you. And
He helped open B&D as well. Yeah.
ready for some Texas beer?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
let's get you set up.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Vinny, what can you tell me about the history of this place?
It's from 1961. That's when they first opened up. It was Bruno and Diane's, so that's what the B&D stands for.
Okay.
Now it stands for barbecue and drafts. They kept as much of the building as they possibly could. They did, of course, modernize portions of it in order to get the draft system in here.
Okay.
There used to be ice blocks back a long time ago when that was still a thing. You can fake this look, but it's hard to do.
You
But
can't fake this.
All this time. Oh, yeah.
There's even a garage door.
Yeah,
okay? Look at
this is
this.
incredible. It's crazy.
Y'all ready for some Texas barbecue?
Yes.
Yeah?
So,
All right, all right.
I think we want to try the Frito pie
Alrighty.
and the Southtown Slammer.
All right.
And is there like a special, unique item that you could?
I'll bring something out.
All right.
For sure.
She knows.
Okay, sounds good. Let's get y'all set up. I'll get that out to you. I'll be right
All
back.
right.
You're welcome.
Sounds good.
beautiful in this neighborhood.
This is San Antonio's first neighborhood. It's King William, which is part of Southtown. It's, you know, peppered with beautiful Victorian homes, old buildings. It is gorgeous. Yeah, so, here it is. What you been waiting for?
All right, there's a Frito pie
Look at that.
in the Southtown
Just
Slammer.
love it, love it.
All right.
Oh my gosh, that looks incredible. Please tell me about these dishes right here.
Well, this is our Southtown Slammer. It's one of our sandwiches we offer here. It has a couple of beef sausages on there. And then we get one of our jalapeno poppers. It's basically a jalapeno stuffed with cream cheese wrapped in bacon, smoked for a couple hours, so it gives it a little bit of spice. And then we just throw in some potato chips on top, and the idea is to kind of slam it down so you get that nice potato chip crunch. And then this is our chopped beef Frito pie. It's basically chopped brisket simmered in our house sauce. We top it off with some cheese, some sour cream, tomatoes, and some of our Shiner espresso molasses barbecue sauce.
I will get back to these. What is this secret menu item?
That's our cheesy chop. So yeah, basically it's our brisket simmered in our house sauce, and then we pair it with our house-made mac and cheese, and we kind of do add some green chilies to the mac and cheese, so it gives it a little bit of heat, but nothing too crazy.
Robert, tell us about the brisket. I mean, walk us through, you know, where do you start? How does it end? What makes it unique?
Well, the briskets here, we rub them in gochujang, which is like a chili paste, and then we rub it down with equal parts salt and pepper. We'll smoke them for about 12 hours. We'll let them rest for, you know, about 6 hours, and then we slice them for service.
So, Laura, you are a rare breed. You are a female pitmaster. What is it like in this industry for you?
It is a very male-dominated industry. But I was just kind of like dove right in, and I'm just intrigued by the whole process. There's no gauges, there's no set it and forget it, no timers. It's all, you control the smoke, you control the heat, it's all up to you.
Now, Laura, on the brisket, I mean, it tastes a lot of, you know, you taste the spiciness, the pepperiness on the rub, but I love the sweetness, you know, the sweetness of the sauce that really kind of cuts in place with that, and it goes killer with that mac.
That is
You can have the macaroni. I'm gonna dig into the Frito pie. This takes me back to when I was a little kid. They cut the top off the Frito pie package, and then they pour the chili, they put the cheese, the cream, the salsa.
Did you grow up around barbecue in your life?
Yeah, growing up, I never really got into barbecue or anything. My dad didn't really, you know, he would grill, you know, hamburgers, stuff like that, but never, you know, brisket or really ribs. So
Well, pitmasters are rare. I mean, it takes true commitment, and it's like, as chefs, you do a lot of different things, but as a pitmaster, you're dedicated to that style of cooking. I mean, you have to passionately love it.
You do.
Or you will get nowhere.
Oh
you have to love it.
You have to embrace the smoke. You have to embrace the heat. Like people, they'll be like, "Oh my God, aren't you hot?" Like, but it's like when I'm at work, it doesn't bother me.
Right.
I don't mind sweating from open to close.
Well, your dedication shows through the food. I'm digging it, loving it.
I agree.
All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, I got to get back to it. So it was very
Thank you.
nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you.
It's always
Thank
great
you.
seeing you. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. Nice.
Dude, this macaroni with brisket is from another world.
Yeah.
Don't steal my macaroni.
Johnny and I rode down the Mission Reach Trail, which winds along the river to the San Antonio Missions. This 8-mile trail starts at the most well-known mission, the Alamo, and provides a seamless path from the city center to each of the sites. The missions were built by Spanish colonizers in the 17th century and declared a National Historical Park in 1983. Today, they are active museums which preserve historical architecture, and some still serve as active church parishes.
So where are we? Tell me a little bit about the history.
All right, so we're at Mission San Jose. It's referred to as kind of the queen of the missions because it's the largest of the 5 missions. A couple years ago, UNESCO accepted our missions as World Heritage Sites, the only one in Texas.
Oh, wow.
So it's quite special, but it's also a huge recognition that now helps the preservation of our missions moving forward.
What do you think life was like back in the day when this was more of an active mission?
This mission was their home. Within the mission walls, they taught the Native Americans a lot of their crafts, right? Stoneworking and ceramics, you know, the art. And that's what the Spanish brought, you know, to this part of the country. One of the exciting accomplishments of our food community recently was the acceptance into UNESCO as a city of gastronomy. UNESCO only picks one country every 2 years.
Really?
So
I didn't know
huge
that.
accomplishment. And I mean, this is a great example of that heritage, right? It's those 300 years of history of Spanish that have melded with the indigenous, with the South Texas culture, and have made our local cuisine very unique.
I love it. Wow. The Pearl District is a culinary and cultural destination with world-class restaurants, boutiques, and the historic Hotel Emma building. This always bustling, sustainable neighborhood embraces a communal philosophy, making it a popular hangout day or night. I love how many people are outside. This is so cool.
I know, this is amazing development. Pearl has become such a special gathering place for San Antonio, and about 10 years ago, this market started. We also have our third campus from the Culinary Institute of America, so it's our world-renowned culinary school.
Here
In San Antonio.
Wow,
Yes,
that's
so
awesome.
It just continues to grow the culinary talent of our city, so we're really proud of how Pearl has developed.
Cool. Well, let's go check out some more.
Let's do it.
Johnny and I walked to the Granary, which is located in the Pearl District. This restaurant and brewery serves up traditional cuts during lunch, but also presents a progressive seasonal dinner menu, always made from scratch. Wow. This place is a little bit more upscale than the other places we've been.
It is. I love the way they've restored this beautiful home and repurposed it into a restaurant.
I mean, I'm not a fancy girl, but I can appreciate some fancy food.
Well, I know that what Chef Tim Rattray is doing here is progressive. He's out there in terms of his creativity, but I mean, he's a chef and a pit master, and he's brought those two skills together.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hey.
How we doing, guys?
Great. Oh, thank you.
Got some beers for you here.
Hi, I'm Kelsey.
I'm Tim.
Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to have you in. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah.
What do we have here?
We've got some brown ale that we make here in-house for you.
You know, I have to mention my favorite quote from Esquire magazine. I've seen the future of barbecue, and his name is Tim Rattray. So, I mean, that's a powerful statement. I mean, it says a lot about his style, his progressiveness.
Well, cool. I'm excited to try some stuff. What do you think?
Oh, well, let's try that brisket ramen.
Totally.
And then a little bit of Texas toast, a little barbecue butter.
Barbecue butter shouldn't be missed. I'll be
Well,
right
make sure you
back.
come back and join us, Chef.
Cool.
Yep.
So I want to hear a little bit about your experience with the Culinary Institute.
I mean, Pearl, as a development, wanted to bring culinary education to San Antonio. Who better than the Culinary Institute of America? What they initiated was the Center for Foods of the Americas. So the Center for Foods of the Americas is not only Mexican food, Texas regional food, but foods of all the Americas. So it's helped build what you see, and it's been the foundation, I believe, for Pearl. All right. Love it. Gorgeous.
Okay, so we've got brisket ramen for you.
you.
The brown ale that you're actually drinking is what we use to make the noodles. The broth is a smoked shoyu broth, so we actually smoke the bones on the pit before making the ramen broth. There's some burnt ends, crispy barbecue shallots, a little onsen egg, and a crispy collard green. So kind of ramen, but translating it into our world of barbecue. And then off to the side, we've got our Texas toast. So this is our buttermilk bread that we make fresh every day, cut it thick, and then we actually griddle it in beef tallow. And then off to the side is our heralded barbecue butter. So we take drippings from the smoker, whip that into a cultured butter with some herb ash, and finish it with a little cracked black pepper.
Wow, this looks great.
Chef, please have a seat.
Thanks.
I'd love for you to
Thank you. Don't let me keep you. You guys should dig in.
share with Kelsey just a little bit more of what you've built here.
What kind of made you want to restore this place and make it your own?
The first inspiration was it was available. And like, there's so much history here. This house was built by the chief cooper for the brewery back in about 1908 is when they think. And so when you're thinking about a cuisine like barbecue, you think about communal dining, like family recipes, family gatherings. And so this house was in the same family for about 3 generations, which provides a lot of history and warmth and hospitality to the building.
Are you dipping your Texas toast in the ramen?
There is no wrong way to eat this or, enjoy my ramen.
I agree. I'm into it. I think I'm going to try it myself.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, Chef, well, I mean, we know that, your progressive style that you've had and you've been blazing the trail doing, a lot of creative things.
I love what I do because you can always learn something while still honoring tradition and like the past traditions of barbecue.
Because of your style, I mean, I know you had probably anticipated, maybe a little pushback, but I mean, did it play out the way you thought?
We definitely had some people that were like, oh, like this isn't really barbecue. But then we had more people that were like, wow, this is really cool. So as long as you're cooking with soul in your food, whether it's on a white tablecloth or whether it's in a brown paper bag, like that's going to come through.
Your restaurant has kind of found its place in San Antonio, and you see our barbecue culture evolving, and you've been a big part of that.
This is phenomenal, and it's very different from anything we've had so far.
Thanks.
I do have a question though.
Yeah.
Do you have any sort of like special menu items that you could show us, or anything that you really enjoy on your menu?
Yeah, I think we can go back to the kitchen and put something together.
Are you inviting me to the kitchen?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
Absolutely.
Nobody has let me come into the kitchen yet. I'm so excited. Let's go, man.
Cool. All right, guys, welcome to the back of the house.
Cool.
That's where everything's prepared, made, and sent out. Let's put a plate together. Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. Let's get some stuff
Lead the
out
way.
here. So what's cool about this plate that we're gonna make is that when we opened, there was only about 1 or 2 other places in the country that I knew of that were smoking beef shoulders, which they sometimes call claude. And so this to me is like kind of the heart and soul of what we do, which would be like called progressive barbecue. This whole plate's based around the idea of barbecue sauce and pickles. The first thing that we'll put on the plate is cornbread, but not your average cornbread. And then for our pickles, we take a celery baton and we compress these guys in a pickling liquid. One thing that's kind of sacrilege to talk about in Texas is barbecue sauce, but for this plate, I feel like it's really important. On the plate here, it's that nice ruby red color.
That is gorgeous.
That's gonna give a nice kind of sweet and sour effect.
Oh, that's a beautiful color.
And then our claude. So you can see right here, all those different muscles.
How long did you smoke that, chef?
This would be about 12 hours on this guy. So we've got some powdered mushroom. And we just sprinkle that right on the beef.
Powder mushroom.
I've never seen that.
Man, we're way
And then lastly, a lot of people use coffee in their barbecue, like in their rubs or in their sauce. So we actually cook quinoa in the coffee, and then we dry it out and flash fry it to make like a crisp textural contrast. And we call this coffee quinoa crunch.
Wow.
And so that is our beef claude plate.
Almost
should
too
definitely-
pretty to eat.
Yeah, the presentation, the sauce.
Dig in
That's
there.
beautiful looking plate, chef.
I think more than anything about this dish, what I really like is that every single item on the plate has a completely different texture.
Yeah, those textures really kind of break that up and help keep it a dynamic eating experience.
Thank you so much for inviting us back in the
thanks for
kitchen.
coming in.
I love watching you
thanks for
prepare this.
coming.
It was so
thank you
lovely
so much.
meeting you.
Chef,
Chef,
always a
thank you.
pleasure.
Yeah, gracias.
See you soon.
Let's dig into the rest of this, man. San Antonio has been so good to us. We've had some incredible barbecue and found some great secret menu items along the way. We had the barbacoa at 2M, the cheesy chop at B&D Ice House, and a smoked beef claude at the Granary. Chef, thank you so much. I've had a blast. I really appreciate you showing us around.
Well, it's been my sincere pleasure to host you, share with you the history of our city and this emerging food scene that's exploding. So, muchísimas gracias.
See you next time. I'm here with John Tezar.
Welcome to DFW and the Metroplex. We still are the epicenter for steak and barbecue. I brought you here because I wanted to show you a restaurant that was famous for its Kansas City barbecue.
I've never seen anything like this.
I think it's some of the best barbecue in the state of Texas. This steak, when you take a bite out of it, you're gonna know you're eating a steak.